Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tony Arenas, and I am the product specialist for this video. And today in Photoshop, we're going to go over a little bit of the adjustment tools, more or less the content-aware tools that are available to you within Photoshop. Now, this is not going to be the actual content-aware tool with the content-aware fill, more of the individual tools that you'll find on the left side of your screen. So, we're going to start off with the actual healing brush tool. And these tools are really designed to help out and take out small little areas that are unsightly or that you feel like that needs to be readjusted to hide or make it disappear or something along those lines, quick and easy. Now, fair warning, these are also the tools that are very synonymous with if you overdo it, you tend to make somebody look a little bit plastic, or you can tell that they've been quote-unquote airbrushed and so forth. So I do recommend using these tools, but use them very sparingly. Use them in small quantities and so forth. So we're going to start off again, like I said before, we're going to start off with the Spot Healing Brush tool. And it's very self-explanatory. It's just pretty much a tool that you can use a brush size that you need. You can pick a brush if you want to. I usually just stick to the regular brush. It's perfectly fine. And you can just click and boom, and you have Photoshop do a lot of the work for you and just makes that little piece disappear that you're actually doing. You can do the whole like dragging it all the way around. I don't really recommend that because it tries to calculate all of that and try to fit everything through. I usually try to go for more of a simple, no hardness size brush. Just click it and it goes away. Pretty much set it and forget it is what it comes down to it. Alright, so the healing brush tool though is very similar in the sense that you do the same thing, but the first thing you have to do is actually set an actual area that you want to pull off from. So you can use a certain section of a picture to kind of pull away and use this as an area for you to work with. So over in this part over here of her arm, there's that little bit of crook right there that has a little bit of this little mark right here. So what I can do here is, let's bring this up just a little bit. I'm going to pick a sort of area for it to pull off from. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just click and drag this down a little bit to just kind of get rid of that piece of the mark there. And it does a little bit of that work for you, and it's really cool. You may have to reset your settings just a little bit so that way you can get down to the nitty-gritty. So what it does is it utilizes both existing pixels and other pixels to just kind of get rid of certain areas that you actually are trying to pull away from. Alright, as we start moving down, they start getting a little bit more and more manual with your actual selections and how you want to pull things. So again, we're going to go into the patch tool. We're going to pick an area for us to work with. The patch tool uses a little bit more freelance or more freehand options to do your selection. So instead of a brush, you're actually going to use more of this thing here, and then once you let go, you have a selection. Now, the difference with all the other tools is that you actually have to select and move, and what it'll do is it'll find an area that you feel like is fairly necessary, and you can just drop it, and there it is. Now, if you feel like it's going a little too harsh with your selection, you always still have the ability to modify that selection that you have set down there. You can expand on it, add a little bit of feather to it, and it's just up to you on how you want to handle everything there. Alright, next up is the content-aware move, and that's very similar to what you have here. So what you would do here is, of course, you would actually select the area that you're actually running with, and then you would move it somewhere to an area that you may want to replace it. And once you set it, you're going to actually move that object and move it to another place, and then that area is going to be filled by the content-aware. So you have options there with that to work through. And finally, but not least, the fifth option I'm going to run with is the clone stamp. And the clone stamp is really just the rawest form of doing this actually movement. There's no content aware for you to work with. There's no real thing. It's going to pick up everything you have selected from that particular area, and you're going to run through it. So in this case, we're just going to try to get rid of this little freckle right there. I'm going to go ahead and select that there, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paint that down. And it automatically sets that up, and it takes everything from that picture and moves it over to that other area that you're working with. The idea here of showing you all these options is one time some options may not work best for what you're looking for, and you may have to experiment with other options to get the effect that you're looking for. And the idea here is to just try, get it out there, try it out, see what happens. Nothing's going to be broken unless you actually file save it as, and even then, if you want to create variations, you can always duplicate different options for you to duplicate the layers or just make multiple files, and just try different options with that to you feel more comfortable with all that's going on. My name is Tony Arenas, and these have been the Content Aware tools in Photoshop.